Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So Microsoft has rolled out the latest optional bug fix C-release update for Windows 11, 24 and 25H2, which is KB5067036. And the update rolled out late yesterday in my part of the world. Now, the update is optional, so you don't have to install it unless you have the get the latest updates as soon as they are available toggle turned on. Then this becomes a mandatory update. And if you don't decide to install the update now, it will be rolled out. Most of the fixes and improvements will be rolled out with the following month's Patch Tuesday security update rolling out on the second Tuesday of November. Now, as you can see, there's a bit of a change to how Microsoft has presented the update in the listing on the update history page, where previously it used to look like this. Now Microsoft has just called it preview update. And then if you do decide to install the update for Windows 11 25H2, the OS build will be bumped up to 26,200.7019. And if you're on 24H2, that'll just be 26,100.7019. Now, just before I dive into what's new in the update, because there's quite a lot going on, we get 20 new features. That's 2 less than when the update was in its final preview, but nonetheless still lots to get through. But just a quick side note and a heads up. This update failed to install the first time on my device. And then it only installed on the second attempt after restarting. And then once it was installed, successfully installed, it re-downloaded and installed again. So I'm just giving you a heads up. There might be some installation issues with this update. This is the first time on this device where I've had a problem installing an update. So I'm just giving you a heads up. You might get some problems trying to install this update, or it could just be something regarding my device, but nonetheless, keeping you posted. Okay, so just to dive straight in, quite a lot going on. Now the first bunch of features I'm going to mention are all for Copilot plus PCs, according to Microsoft. So I'm just going to rattle through these quickly. And these new features and fixes mentioned now are all rolling out gradually for those Copilot plus PCs. So first of all, Microsoft says there's a new prompt box in Click to Do, which streamlines interactions with Copilot, helping you work more efficiently. And there's a lot going on with Click to Do, so just to get through this. You can now translate on-screen text using Microsoft Copilot with the Click to Do feature. Click to Do now helps you convert units like length, area, volume, height, temperature, and speed. You can press and hold 2 fingers anywhere on your Copilot plus PC touchscreen to open Click to Do. You can now select objects in Click to Do using freeform selection, rectangle selection, or control and click. There are now new live persona cards from Microsoft 365 that now appear in Click to Do. There are now new visual cues that now make key items such as emails, tables, and more light up on your screen as you open Click to Do. So as mentioned, quite a lot going on. And then we get a fix where Click to Do might unexpectedly invoke sometimes when pressing Windows key and P. And then for the File Explorer Home for Copilot plus PCs, there's another new feature where when you hover over a file in Home, commands such as Open File Location and Ask Copilot appear as quick actions. And then on Copilot plus PCs, if we head over to Accessibility, Voice Access, where you can use your voice to type and control your device, we get 3 new features and a fix where fluid dictation in Voice Access now makes voice-based dictation smoother and smarter. You can now configure a delay before a voice command is executed. Voice Access now supports Japanese, which Microsoft says is expanding accessibility for more users, which I think is a great move. And then Voice Access, there's a fix where it was unexpectedly stopping to work, showing error code 9001. And then the new agent in settings experience now supports French on those Copilot plus PCs. And Microsoft says there's a new improved search, which is now available through a controlled rollout, which is now available on all Copilot plus PCs. And they don't tell us exactly what has been improved, but nonetheless, improved Windows search on Copilot plus PCs. So those new features and fixes are all rolling out gradually only for Copilot plus PCs. And now I'm going to go through the new features and fixes that are rolling out gradually for all. So this is across the board now. First of all, and I think the big one with this update is we get a new redesigned start menu, which I'm not seeing yet. This is on a controlled rollout, and I think the minority is going to see this more than the majority at the get-go. So you've got the redesigned start menu, where you've got a scrollable all section. You've got category and grid views, and I'm just going to go through this quickly, guys, because I have posted on the new start quite in depth on the channel. Microsoft says you've now got a responsive layout where the start menu adapts to your screen size. So larger displays show more pinned apps, recommendations, and categories by default. And then you've got phone link integration where a new mobile device button is now found next to the search, which lets you expand, collapse content from your connected phone, which I think is a nice little touch if you are using that feature. So new start menu, that's starting to roll out now. So I think by Patch Tuesday in November, more of us are going to be seeing this new start menu. And then if we head over to the File Explorer, quite a bit going on in File Explorer, which I'm happy to see. And if we head to the home page, recommended files in the home are now available for personal Microsoft accounts and local accounts. So that's a new feature. And then another new feature is storage provider APIs are now available for cloud providers to integrate with File Explorer Home. And then Microsoft says it's fixed the File Explorer context menu, which might unexpectedly switch back and forth between show more options on each right click. So I think that's a niggly issue. That's good to see that's been fixed. And there's a fix when opening a folder from another app, for example, opening the downloads folder from a browser. Your custom view, including sorting files by name, changing the icon size, or removing grouping, unexpectedly resets back to default. So that's a niggly issue that's been sorted out, which is nice to see. And then Microsoft says it's fixed the File Explorer window, which might no longer respond to mouse clicks after invoking the context menu. So quite a bit going on with that context menu. And there's a fix when extracting very large archive folders, 1.5 gigabytes plus, might fail with a catastrophic error. It sounds very hectic, but nonetheless, that's error code 0x8000FFFF. And then File Explorer might become unresponsive when opening Home. So nice to see Microsoft focusing on File Explorer with this update, which is always a move in the right direction. And then there are new battery icons, which include color indicators and battery percentage, which now appear in the lower right corner of the lock screen, which is nice to see. That's obviously still on a controlled rollout. And then there's a new Microsoft 365 Copilot page, which has been added to the Get Started experience for commercial devices with an active Microsoft 365 subscription. So that's listed as a new feature. And then heading back into settings, accounts. Microsoft says email and accounts is now called your accounts. Well, mine is still called email accounts because, as mentioned, these are rolling out gradually. And then getting back to those battery icons, the battery icons have been updated to make it easier to check your PC status at a glance. So that would be on the system tray. These new battery icons would be here on the system tray. But no mention, unlike the lock screen, that there's going to be a battery percentage. And there's a new feature for admins. Administrator protection aims to protect free floating admin rights for administrators. And then, guys, we've got a bunch of improvements and fixes. I'm just going to go through some of these, not all, which I think you may be interested in. Microsoft says it's fixed certain apps becoming unresponsive when launching the open or save dialog. So that's a nice new adjustment. And then Microsoft says it's improved the sign into your PC, where it's made underlying changes to improve the performance of loading the taskbar after unlocking your PC from sleep, which is also nice to see. And there's a fix for the task manager, where some apps apparently might unexpectedly not group with their processes in the task manager. So Microsoft says that's been fixed. And there are two improvements, which are the final two to mention for features rolling out gradually. Microsoft says it's addressed underlying issues which can cause update and shutdown to not actually shut down your PC after updating. And it's addressed an underlying issue which can cause Windows Update to fail to install with error 0x800F0983. And that's nice to see. And then, guys, so those are all the new features and fixes rolling out for your so-called normal PCs and your Copilot Plus PCs. And then just to mention one fix which is rolling out normally, there are a good couple of others where the update addresses an issue where protected content playback fails on some machines after installing KB5067036, and that was a known issue. So nice to see that that has been fixed, and there's a couple of other fixes taking place under the hood. So guys, that's more or less what's new in KB5067036, which is rolled out for Windows 11, 25 and 24H2. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.